audience now knows Greg likes to blather. So I'll take a little break here and seriously turn it over to you. I know you had an amazing experience there covering both those campaigns. So I'm going to put myself on mute for a few minutes and listen to my pal Val, your military radio gal. Take it over there, Val. Go for it.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to share. And as Greg shared, I am an investigative journalist. And so I am looking and observing, and I'm asking questions, and I'm on. So wherever I am out, I am there, and I'm taking it all in, and I'm watching, and I'm looking, and I'm assessing, because one thing that we can't have enough of is that face-to-face. So I like to make eye contact. I like to say, hey, do you have a few minutes? Can I ask you some questions? And I was a big fan of, I'll start with Kari Lake, because, that was beginning of the week. I took in her event, which was her announcement that she will be seeking the senator seat. And it was, it was Scottsdale, so, it was fancy. I'm a small town girl. So, I was part of the press pool. And it was like there was definitely just a feel, like, whoa, there's a lot of important people. It looks like they're coming from out of town. They're all dressed up, and I'm finding out, like, who's this person, who's that person, really taking it all in. And because it's a big deal, the people that are coming to me and asking me, they want the details, they want the information, because they, maybe they're not invited or they can't get in there. They're relying on what I'm sharing. So when I was there to observe and pay attention and watch and listen. And so, I've been in press pools and I've attended a lot of political events, let me tell you. But this one really stands out, just as an example, I was in a long lineup. I arrived early because I like to be there on time and get checked in. And, I never know, this, is there going to be a lot of security? How is this going to work? And in this case, it was a good thing that I arrived early because there was quite a large press pool that was there. Not like, there was some local, but you could tell, they were from not local covering, they were coming from bigger networks. And just being in the press pool, you didn't have a lot of freedom. You had to kind of stand in a line. So I had to stand in this line and then stand in that line. I had to wait. We were told at one point we needed to follow the tape, duct tape that was on the ground over to another press check-in because Secret Service and their dogs needed to do a sweep. That was of interest to me. I wanted to watch it. I was curious. I've heard about Secret Service dogs, but I've never actually witnessed them in action. I didn't know what that was going to look like, but due to the duct tape and where we were outlined, where we were to go and parameters we were to stay in, it was very limited on, what I could see. So unfortunately, I was told by two individuals, as other people, because we were in a lineup, you're going to have to move while Secret Service and their dogs do what they do. So that's fine. Anyways, what else? I was just in the part of the press pool. I was able to sit and write. So I did some, I did some writing, just play-by-play of what was going on. I met some really, really cool people there. One journalist in particular, so funny. Turns out, he's from Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada, just like me. So that was really interesting to end up at a Kari Lake event and have that, commonality. I was not happy because where the press had to stay, we weren't able to see or I could not actually physically see her. I had to look at a screen. So we were really, really far back, and I wasn't able to ask questions. And, it's just when a politician and they, move into that celebrity status, it's harder to reach them. So even as like a press person who has the credentials and has the, the check in place to be there, I'm always really disappointed that because I take my role as your military radio gal seriously, as an investigative journalist. I want to ask questions. That's what I do for a living. So, I understand though it's busy, but I wasn't able to shake hands, make eye contact, the things that are just really, really important to me, because that's a baseline. If you want to get to know a politician, you need to be able to, step one, make eye contact and have a conversation. So I had some really good questions lined up for her, and I was told that wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to be able to ask any questions, and if I left my spot and crossed the duct tape line, I could be escorted out. So serious business, right? It's serious. So for the most part, because I wanted to get a video of her on stage, I wanted to, and I couldn't see her. And I'm 5'1.5", but it was really important to me to at least try and get some footage, because when she often says the lying media, and that really fires people up. And hearing that, I'm like, well, I'm not the lying media. I really genuinely want to hear what you have to say, and I want to see you. So I'm going to have to stand up and, kind of cross the line just so I could get her in my screen. So I did that. I don't regret that. Unfortunately, she didn't take my questions, but if it's okay, I wouldn't mind putting my questions out. Maybe you guys are interested in what my questions were. I would ask, I'd mention a couple of them, and perhaps Kari is listening tonight. Continue Mission reaches a lot of people and politicians. We know that. So my first question to Kari was, the last time you won in 2022, I suggested on radio that you should carry out opening your governor's office and serve your constituents. So, Kari, if you win 2 in a row, but the count doesn't add up again, what is your plan this time? I think that's an important question, because a lot of people, we agree on election integrity. And my next question to her is, as a long-serving member of the media, you established real cred and untouchable history with your TV viewers and media peers. Your name is known across the country and on the international stage. You have become the ambassador for election integrity. But I'm curious to know what it's been like behind the scenes, where high integrity conduct has led to you carrying that persona to the media who isn't behaving like that. Have any members of the mainstream media been inspired by your activity? Because you are the champion of election integrity, and you still have peers. Have any of them left the dark side and come over to the light? I wanted to know what it's been like behind the scenes, because we've heard on the everywhere election integrity, and I agree. But what next? What's going to happen next? So those were just some of my unanswered questions, but I would love to just throw it out to her to come on and join us on a radio show and just give her the full time just to kind of get into some of those questions and answers. Because for me, that's what it's all about. I just want the truth, because there is so much at stake, and it's easy to make promises and say things, but I genuinely, want to know, what it means to you to be senator, right? Because to jump from governor to senator, I need to know a lot more. So I'm hungry to hear more from Kari Lake, so that invitation is there. By the end of the week, I moved over to another political event, which was happening in my community. Sheriff Mark Lamb had just a kickoff event, and it was a fundraiser, and it just totally, I would say, polar opposite. There was no duct tape for media, there was just a welcome committee. So many volunteers and so many members of many different law enforcement, military agencies, and they were all recognized at the event, which was really cool just to see how many had served. And what blew me away was, because you do have to place an X, right? Like, you can't split an X. You have to really make a decision, who you're going to vote for. So I think it's really important to go into maybe some of the details that they really do tell you a lot. I really witnessed what I would call a team, like a husband and wife team, with Sheriff Lamb and his wife. And she got up and she just spoke from the heart, and talked about why her husband is doing this, how she's supporting him, believes in him, and the community. It was like a community dinner. It was absolutely just, it was so laid back. Big difference in candidates. The best way to compare it is local and just having a real connection, and then celebrity. And it's different. And I get the celebrity part because I've been in mainstream media for many years, and that doesn't do much for me. It never did, and it never will. So now in the political realm, I'm not awestruck by a celebrity, and there's a real fine line that when a politician crosses and loses the local to embrace celebrity, you can't fake that. You will see it. You will see it over and over.